Queen at Christmas in pictures, Queen's speeches on Christmas days through the years. As the Queen prepares to give a speech on Christmas Day once again, here is a look back pictures of the Queen at Christmas and her most memorable broadcasts. Elizabeth II has been giving Christmas messages to the nation each year ever since her very first radio broadcast in 1952. The Queen has reigned through huge technological advances with her first televised broadcast in 1957 and her first 3D message in 2012. Here is a look back at pictures of the Queen at Christmas and some of her most memorable speeches on Christmas Day over more than half a century. 1952, First Christmas Message. After the death of her father George VI, the Queen broadcast her first Christmas message from her study at Sandringham. She said, "Since my accession 10 months ago, your loyalty and affection have been an immense support and encouragement. I want to take this Christmas Day, my first opportunity, to thank you with all my heart." 1953, First Christmas Message from abroad. The Queen recorded her radio Christmas message in Auckland, New Zealand, at the start of a 6-month tour of the Commonwealth. She said, "Of course, we all want our children at Christmas time, for that is the season above all others when each family gathers at its own hearth. I hope that perhaps mine are listening to me now, and I am sure that when the time comes they, too, will be great travelers." 1957, First televised Christmas broadcast. The Queen gave the first televised broadcast from Long Library, Sandringham on the 25th anniversary of the first radio message by George V. She said, "25 years ago my grandfather broadcast the first of these Christmas messages. Today is another landmark because television has made it possible for many of you to see me in your homes on Christmas Day." 1969, the Queen's only written Christmas message. The Queen decided to pen a written Christmas greeting instead of giving a televised broadcast. She said, "I have received a great number of kind letters and messages of regard and concern about this year's break with the usual broadcast at Christmas, and I want you all to know that my good wishes are no less warm and personal because they come to you in a different form." The Queen gives her Christmas message to the nation in 1971. 1967. The first color broadcast of the Queen's speech. The Queen's speech was shown in color for the first time from Buckingham Palace. She said, "Modern communications make it possible for me to talk to you in your homes and to wish you a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. These techniques of radio and television are modern, but the Christmas message is timeless." 1992, the Queen looks back on somber year. The Queen described 1992 as a somber year after the fire at Windsor Castle, Prince Charles separating from Princess Diana, Princess Anne's divorce and the Duke and Duchess of York splitting up. She said, "Like many other families, we have lived through some difficult days this year. The prayers, understanding and sympathy given to us by so many of you, in good times and bad, have lent us great support and encouragement. It has touched me deeply that much of this has come from those of you who have troubles of your own." 2012, the first Christmas message in 3D. The Queen has recorded her Christmas Day broadcast in 3D for the first time. It was the 80th anniversary of her grandfather's first radio message. The said, "This past year has been one of great celebration for many. The enthusiasm which greeted the Diamond Jubilee was, of course, especially memorable for me and my family. It was humbling that so many chose to mark the anniversary of a duty which passed to me 60 years ago." 2016, Queen celebrates Olympians from Rio 2016. Last Christmas the Queen congratulated British Olympians and Paralympians but said inspirational people don't have to save lives or win medals. Having discovered abilities they scarcely knew they had, these athletes are now inspiring others, she said. "I often draw strength from meeting ordinary people doing extraordinary things, volunteers, carers, community organizers and good neighbors, unsung heroes whose quiet dedication makes them special.